Howdy, howdy, and welcome to another wonderful trash take. Today, we're going to talk about ActBlue. Now, if you're a Democrat, you already know what ActBlue is. It's basically the Democrats' biggest slush fund for political donations. It's a giant organization that takes money from donors and puts them back into the hands of Democrats trying to run for office. It's basically like a help them get reelected campaign fund. Now, if this is your first time hearing about ActBlue, this might be a bit of a shocker, but back in about 2024, during the election cycle, it was actually found that there was a bunch of interesting donations coming from ActBlue. So in America, when you donate to a nonprofit organization slash fundraiser slash charity, because it's kind of considered that, that's information that they have to report with your first and last name. So what happened back in 2024 was some interesting things coming from the Oversight Committee, and I'll show you that now. Now, the GOP Oversight Committee is basically a Twitter account that I also was following pretty closely. It's just over the House and basically government reform, but they go over a bunch of different information and a bunch of different topics. One of the big things they did was break the Hunter Biden donations, where they found Joe Biden basically mentally incompetent to stand trial. It was a big, 1,000-page report. It had multiple direct issuances of where Hunter Biden would receive funds and then immediately give them to multiple family members. Hence, Joe Biden pardoned his entire family. This isn't a conspiracy theory. You can look it up yourself, and if you come to a different conclusion, please let me know. They literally post the receipts from bank transactions to the amounts to the day that it happens. It's fucking pretty clear corruption on the Joe Biden family. Not the point. Back in 2024, they posted an interesting story about ActBlue with a bunch of people basically saying someone is donating on their behalf without their information. So they came forward and were asking for people to actually come forward themselves and say, hey, whether or not you donated. Because America, all of our information's basically been, every American's information's basically been stolen multiple times. So if you haven't moved and your social security number matches, when you make donations, I believe you require both of those. And they were finding that ActBlue was basically doing some illegal campaign fraud, where they were taking money online from platforms that they weren't supposed to be and be using gift cards and untraceable funds from people they couldn't verify and still taking them into their organization and then redistribute them to Democrats that were running for office. Illegal as shit. Didn't think anything would happen of it until now. And just so you guys can see, this is their website where they talk about what they are, who they do. It's basically just a campaign organization where you donate money to them and they give it to Democrats in some way, shape, or form. Like when the fucking fire was going on in California, Pilates or whatever it was burning down. All these Democrats were saying donate directly to help funds to help the fires. And they were posting ActBlue donation links, which would not help the funds whatsoever. This is literally a political organization committee that just donates money to Democrats. So they were posting this shit all over Twitter and it was pissing me off. But a lot of major Democrats were coming forward saying, here's how you donate to help victims of the fire. And they're giving money, or their donation link went straight to ActBlue. Not a single one of those dollars would have gone to any of those people. It only goes to help Democrats get reelected. And maybe they do have some offshoot organization where they're able to give them money. But if you're donating to a political action committee and then you're going to act like it's going to go help people that are guilty or people that lost everything in a fire, that's just disingenuous, but that's politics. So, like I said with ActBlue, Elon Musk has now thrown his hat in the ring with ActBlue in a tweet that I saw yesterday, or a tweet that I saw this morning that actually made me think that, holy shit, we're actually fighting corruption now. So Elon put out, an investigation has found 5 ActBlue-funded groups responsible for the Tesla protests: Troublemakers, Disruption Project, Rise and Resist, Indivisible Project, and Democrat Socialists of America. ActBlue funders includes George Soros, Reid Hoffman, Herbert Sanders, Patricia Baumann, and Leah Hunt Hendricks. ActBlue is currently under investigation for allowing foreign and illegal donations in a criminal violation of campaign finance regulations. This week, 7 ActBlue senior officials have resigned, including the Associate General Counsel. If you know anything about this, please post in the replies. Thanks, Elon. The fact that he included thanks, Elon, makes me think he's not actually posting his tweets, because that's something politicians do when they finally turn on their Twitter account, unlike Donald Trump. That's why Kofifi and all these other memes exist, because Trump's definitely shit posting live and has spelling errors. So he's a real man. But this is me that posted it again, and I was just realizing the 7 executives resigning, they're fucking roaching out. Asmongold, 100% right. They're roaching out, boys. Roach the fuck out. Cops are coming. They're going to start shining flashlights at a corruption. Roach out, roach out. Get out of America. Put all your funds abroad. They're coming to look at us. Roach the fuck out. And I just cannot believe in my ignorance. I did not think of that. That's exactly what Asmongold has coined. These people are roaching the fuck out. The money's dried up. The cops are coming, and they're going to running, boys. Shout to Asmongold. Elon's entirely right here. A bunch of ActBlue officials have stepped down. Their senior leadership has stepped down, and ActBlue donations seemingly have dried up at the small amount of donations have dried up at the same time that USAID is closed down. Being reported by a Twitter account, Being reported by Amuse, which is basically a Twitter news account, they're saying that they were able to find out, or they were seeing exactly that U.S. aid to Democrat-controlled NGOs stopped flowing in January. Around the same time, all the small dollar donations on ActBlue stopped as well. And now by February, a bunch of executives have stepped down. I'm sorry, guys. Normally, I'm not that big of a schizo, but when you have multiple points on a graph and your IQ's above 80, you can draw a fucking line. This is looking like some clear-cut corruption that accidentally got exposed. I don't say accidentally. Like I said, they got basically uncovered back in like December, October last year. It was like a big thing where you could go into the database and search your name and see if anyone's donated on your behalf. Because that's what they were finding. Like, they were dead people that were donating thousands of dollars to Democrats. Like, it's very clear that someone is using money laundering to put money back into Democrats' hands and using shell people or fake people to do so. That's why it was kind of a big thing that Elon Musk was going through all these social security numbers and finding people that are 150 years old, because he can check to see with those social securities to see if those fuckers are still donating and where they're donating to, because that gives you a clear-cut area of where to look for corruption. If there's a guy that's 180 years old that's been donating to ActBlue every single year to the maximum amount that you can for a charity, which I think is like $500 or $1,000 for an individual, there's limits to it. But if you get enough dead people to keep doing that, you essentially create a zombie army of donators. And using that, you can buy the media, buy whatever you want. To me, it seems pretty clear that this is corruption. I don't know. This seems like it's pretty clear it's corruption. But I saw this and I was like, holy shit, ActBlue's actually going to get shut down, which is fucking hilarious. Because like I said, with the whole... with the whole thing when the fucking fires started going through California, there was a bunch of Democrats that were like posting, donate to ActBlue. Here, let me pull one up to show you. I'm sorry. I'm completely sorry. I said Greg Newsom earlier, or Gavin Newsom, whatever the retard California governor's name is. That was wrong. It was Elizabeth Warren. She was the big one doing it. This is what I was talking about. So here is her tweet talking about the fires ripping through LA. To help support the communities around LA being devastated by wildfires, can you split a donation between Los Angeles Fire Department Foundation and United Way Greater Angeles? 100% of your donations will go to these organizations. That's an ActBlue link. That's ActBlue. They're saying they're going to give the money, but there's no real way to force them to do that. You are just donating to a massive organization that literally decides where they want to do it. And they even posted here, this is a link to a Democrat fundraising platform, and they take 4% of all transactions. If you want to donate directly, here you go. And this is why I loved Community Notes. This is with me seeing the Community Notes coming in full effect of actually calling out politicians who are lying when they say, oh, guys, you want to donate here? Yeah, we might divert some ActBlue funds to here. Yeah, sure, buddy. The same people that used the DNC donations to basically divert all the money from Bernie Sanders back in 2016 to Hillary Clinton are now telling you guys, come on, we're going to help the fires. And this is why I don't trust politicians. I think everything they say should be put under a microscope to see how many lies they tell. And if it's greater than one, they should probably be forced to resign. That's my personal belief. But by that standard, Trump definitely wouldn't last. He just speaks in generalities and everyone hates him for it. I want to say something else about Elizabeth Warren. This is in the after post. I forgot. Trump called her Pocahontas during the congressional view, and that was fucking hilarious. And Tim Walz has now said that he used a racial slur by calling her Pocahontas.
The idea of a president standing at that rostrum and throwing a slur at a United States senator in the middle because you disagree on policy is absolutely ridiculous.
Elizabeth Warren gets called Pocahontas because she lied about her ethnicity for years in order to be like a DEI hire per se. Like, you should really trust me, I'm the Native American voice. And she's like 0% Native American. She's like the whitest fucking bitch you've ever seen. But she's been claiming for years for politics that she was Native American. And then I think back in like 2016, she finally took a DNA test because she got challenged so much. And then she like issued a massive apology because it came back like a 0% basically, which is what anyone with two eyes would see. Like, yeah, this person saying they're Native American's kind of iffy. They have little to no heritage. And I know it's always, you can't judge a book by its cover, but it was one of those things where she was so adamant that she was Native American and everyone's kind of like, okay, prove it. Just prove it. Like, if you really want to do this, just prove it. And she failed. And so because of that, she should have been ridiculed out of any political office for lying for years and using the Native American voice to push her own political career forward. Pretty disingenuous, but like I keep bringing up, that's most of politics. When you look into politics, there's a lot of disingenuous retards. That's why a lot of people also don't get into politics, because I don't know if I could handle being around that many retards. Back to your regularly scheduled broadcast. Something else to make fun of ActBlue with. This is someone that was saying when they were posting Black Lives Matter in 2020, people that were posting to donate to Black Lives Matter would actually just take you back to ActBlue, and then ActBlue would distribute it who they felt like needed it. Which, like I said, they choose where this money goes. There is no guarantee if you give them $20, they're going to give the $20 to the firefighters on your behalf. They'll take that $20 and use it for whatever they want. They might donate $20 to firefighters, or they'll get $10 million and they'll only put $1,000 to firefighters. Be like, guys, that's all we raised. Everything else, yeah, it went elsewhere. Charities are like one of the biggest scams in America. But yeah, I just want to make this video because I saw Elon Musk tweet about ActBlue, and I remember seeing something about the Oversight Committee talking about ActBlue back last year, and yeah, it turns out it is the same thing. ActBlue looks like it's a big corruption organization that's somehow linked to all the Democrats, and now they're mad that the USAID money got shut down, and all the Democrats' funds are now drying up from ActBlue. This is so weird, guys. We have so many points on a graph. Yet I'm gonna have some retards in the chat tell me I'm schizophrenic when this is literally seems as clear and cut and dry as can be. I don't know. I think this is pretty fucking hilarious to me. If you've been such a parasite on taxpayer funds that you've been using taxpayer funds to get yourself indefinitely reelected, congratulations. Now you're actually going to have to throw your own money in the arena. And I really am curious to see how this is going to work. And then also, Democrats are self-imploding for another reason too. Governor Gavin Newsom, Greg Newsom, Newsom something, the California governor recently started a podcast with Charlie Kirk as his first person to bring on there, or like YouTube channel. I don't really know. Not the issue. It was actually a really bold move on his part, and I like to be able to see people have a civil discussion, and Charlie Kirk is very intelligent. If you think Ben Shapiro's cool, he's like 10x cooler. And if you think Ben Shapiro's cool, I probably have different issues with that. But I like Charlie Kirk. He seems like a very smart individual. At least he's very articulate, and I know he goes to college campuses and owns retards that don't know how to debate. That's more their fault for coming up to a debate stage to try to make Reddit points that really don't ever logically sound themselves out. And he calls people out on that, as you are making a argument that you don't even know the sources besides trusting you, and you demand that I do so, which is retarded. If you're going to come to the political arena, you better be educated, which is the issue with modern politics. Most people aren't. They just scream into the abyss and hope that their emotional appeals and emotional blackmail is enough to get you to be quiet because you should be bad, because you're a bad person, because you don't believe me. But yeah, that Charlie Kirk podcast, I really think Newsom's about to get thrown on the Democratic Party. He said some interesting things about trans being able to play in sports in schools, and said some crazy ass shit that you should probably watch for yourself. I don't know if I'm going to do a video on it. Like, his entire YouTube video is over an hour long, and I'd want to do my commentary, and it would definitely be like probably a 2-hour video. So I think I'm going to miss on that, but I might react to some of the more clips on that. I still need to decide. But the reason I say that Newsom's going to explode from the Democratic Party is because the left is very cult-like. You must follow every single idea to the T, and any disagreements on any one of their tenets gets you thrown out of their cult of ideology. And it was very clear based on that interview that he did not fully agree with trans being able to play in sports either. So because of that, a lot of Twitter people have been basically calling for him to resign, basically saying, I'm not donating to any parties now that have him in it. It's been the cult of ideology that's demanding he be removed because he is not adhering to the cult's rules. So I'll be curious to see what happens. Yeah, I genuinely think he might be losing election because of it. Like, this could be a turning point in his life. It's like what happened with Elon in the previous video we watched on Channel 5 News, where Andrew showed that Elon used to be a Democrat and voted for Biden in 2020 until shit hit the fan. And then Elon said one thing of maybe we should open up America, and he got thrown out of the party. And at that point, it's just like, well, what do I do now? Everyone around me, I realize now, is grabbed by a cult. It's the only way to break free of the cult is to find one thing you disagree with and then to be kicked out. Because it has such a stranglehold on people that are in it, and showing people the error of their ways is the hardest thing to do. They have to come to the conclusion themselves. You cannot rashly argue someone out of a position they did not rashly argue themselves into. That is how your brain works. If you guys want to see that, though, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, if you liked the video, like it, comment, subscribe. If you think ActBlue is actually the best thing to ever happen to humanity, please let me know in the comments down below. You are probably a very sound-minded individual, and it'll be a very civil discussion, I'm sure. Either way, thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you have a wonderful time, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, later.